Hello, all you wonderful people. Sorry, bad habit. Been chewing on these suckers since I was 6 years old. So, on second thought, let me not stop now. Got a good thing going here. All right, I told y'all. I think I let it be known. I'm watching the. It's a docu series. No. It's a fully performative. Actors involved. Matthew Broderick plays Mr. Sackler on this amazing triggering show. Yo, Maine, I just saw you over at the place that cannot be named. I gotta tell you, that was I don't know. I just honest to goodness truth, yo, Maine. Like I said when I went there and I went up on the screen. Let me do my hellos, and I've learned by watching somebody watch me on break that they don't like seeing me say hello for like 10 minutes. So let me just do this right quick. Yo, man, base girl, angry conservative. Hello, Shabbat Shalom. So, I was just on somebody's channel, which, yeah, life is too short to take things too seriously. Hi, Queen Survivor, White Dragon. Good evening, one and all. Man, I guess I should just rip the band-aid off. I suppose. Sorry. Again, been chewing on these things since I was 6 years old. This is the same one that I had that I chewed on when I was six back in 1992. So I'm just gonna keep on keeping on with that. Mutated illustration, so good to see ya. Yeah, see, it is a secret, right? I don't know. Look, we all know, y'all have seen, y'all have learned. I gotta say hello to my boy, Tennessee Roger Runner, no Ridge Runner. I'm good. See, I'm smart. I smart like other people too. Okay, that's it. No mas. Zakavo. You've missed the mark. All right. So prepare. I hope all of you have learned not to judge anybody by something that is really so just it's nothing. It's a nothing burger, okay? I just clicked the link on Yo Man Girl. You understand what I'm doing here, right? Like, I just want it to be clear. If there are remnants of people that are here simply because of the individual that shouted me out and for no other reason, then I cannot say with sincerity that I am sorry. My intention was never to have staying power because of who shared a link of mine. You know what I mean? So this is it's been done many times. This is a dead horse. It's been beaten over and over and over. So that's solid and square. I hope you understand. So I just went on not a popular name, guys. And remember, it's okay. You don't have to announce your departure. I want people that are here for real reasons, okay? Substance and passion and the things that I intend to be talking about tonight. I want people to live and walk that walk. So I was on Psychobabble Rap's panel ever so briefly because he was sharing, and it's not a channel I watch that much at all. Matter of fact, all of the channels that are Creek Squad and whatever the whole war between people. It seems like what Creek Squad versus the people, or is it like less than that? And with it's such a complicated thing for me. Like I have to always count my blessings and keep my thanks because I still am thankful. Ryan Upchurch gave such a boost to this channel. I have to. Hey, Angel Wings, hello. Red Pill Truth, Truth Uncensored, hello. I'm still thankful. Like if I could shake the man's hand, give him a hug, I would. But I can't live in I'll always be in the shadow. He's always gonna be larger than me, larger than life. But I can't just I couldn't do and I'm not saying anybody asked me to, but I very much felt and understood if I didn't tote the line, if I didn't speak the way certain people expected me to, just like you remember the chick Jamie, who is seemingly completely disappeared from the interwebs and YouTube. I forget why. I heard so many different stories. Now I'm talking about like drama nonsense here, but the people that were involved, like Jamie was somebody that acted like a gatekeeper for crack. Oh my goodness, for Creek Squad, Freudian slip. in Discord, which is one of the reasons why I got the hell out of Discord, let alone, all the falling out that we know has already occurred and is old news already, old hat. She was like, "Yo, go and say this for me to Sly, uh, and if you do, I can get you back in the good graces of Creek Squad." What's up, Stephen A. Dude? Always a champ right here, Steven. I gotta buy you a beer or something. I gotta ship a bottle to you, bro. Um, so yeah, it was just such a strange world. Like, they expected me to dance, and when I say they, like, there's like 5 or 6 names. Definitely D Libby. Hello. Definitely people that have their own followings and staying power, but it's all people that are catering and pandering to the same following. And yes, this is cathartic. I hope you don't mind that I flash your message here. You know that we have to be adult and human, admit and cop to our wrongs for our own souls. I'm not a spiritual man, but whatever a soul is, whatever that is to you, the way I came onto the scene, I don't know how I really feel about that anymore. I came onto the scene going after somebody who, yes, we've all agreed he's a creep, and we found reasons why he was a creep, and I don't know that justifies, how I went after him. I don't know if that makes right that 1,000 people were watching me. At what price? What did I really expend? You know what? I'm gonna do something sneaky again. I'm gonna tell y'all what I be doing real quick with YouTube. I'm trying to trick YouTube's little means of messing with the algorithm. So here we go. Hold on. I'm doing this right now, real time. I got to refresh this. So, and if it's not clear, if you guys don't know who I came on here and immediately went after, if you're not aware, I need to speak it. So there's no guessing. We need full transparency. Oh, look, they're already have the ad is there's no ads. They're not monetizing this because what? I use the Sackler name. What's up, YouTube? Get your freaking priorities straight. Is because I hashtagged addiction or justice or hope. Remember the Sacklers, and you already have limited. What the hell, YouTube? You guys got your priorities so mixed up. All right. So anyway, back to you guys for a moment. All right. Yeah. The guy Tony Dodge, the name nobody wants to say. I came onto the scene, ew, and I was going after this man because I was watching from the sidelines, and I was legitimately like Yo Main Girl says, I bought it too. I bought it too, Yo Main. I was at my 15th year high school reunion. I don't remember, 10, 15th, don't know. It was the first one I ever went to. And I was so enthralled by the Kylie Rodney case, a name I don't like using loosely, that I actually walked away from the party of people that I grew up with, and you know th- I walked away from that to go stand by a river at this lovely park here in Florida and watch Ryan Upchurch and Tony Dodge and Xana May talking live. Well, that would be at night, or the replay through Ryan Upchurch's channel. Okay, like that's how I was so deep into that Rodney case, and everything was crazy to me, right? And now hey, James, man, I think I know who you are, and if you are like my old friend from way back when, it's good to see you. If not, that's okay too, and I'm glad to have you. So like there is clearly a defamation lawsuit case occurring, right? Like, and I can't deny, when the case was still like very very much popular, but some things happen for a reason. I'm trying to believe that. I really am. Um, it was intriguing. It felt like we were watching maybe a conspiracy unfold. I've never in my life met or seen somebody like a Ryan Upchurch, who I've learned became famous through his YouTube connections, through being entertaining and witty and funny and with great songs. I've got to hear a few, not a lot, but there's some bangers for sure. Um, so I was so deep into it, man. I got a little lost in the minutia, and I went after Tony Dodge. I essentially, was like kind of doing the equivalent of a hit piece, like. So yeah, that's how. If I want to, not if I want to, I need to be honest. And this may be an old story to some of you that have been with me for a while now. That's how this channel got such a bump from Creek Squad and their amazing embracing and support, but it's not the entirety of Creek Squad. Like, I feel maybe they all get a terribly bad rap, right? And I'm still so thankful for the kindness that I received from the Upchurch family and from Father and Son Reacts. We don't talk like we used to, but just they were all so kind and real. There's other names I'm not going to say because there's no reason to, that I got to see what they're like, there's a public image, and then there's how they handle you privately, and that's a whole new bag, right? So yeah, so I said it right, and I started to feel like I wasn't representing my true self, and I had to see to it that changed, and that brings us to where we are right now in this moment. Oh, thank you, Stephen A. And yeah, you know what? To emphasize that, hey, let me put this out there right there. Um, I did, feel skeezy. I found his moderators, his female mods, and they all had the same story of, is this me like making it? No, this is not me making another hit piece. This is the same information that was verified. He was misusing his own status as a large channel, and he was also, shaming mods publicly, and kind of, yeah, it was a big mess. And there was definitely some things that were creepy, and whatever the case, though, that's in the past. Now to deal with the present. Thank you, Stephen A. By the way, I really am thankful for all of you that have just seen to this journey, this very strange journey with me. I'm going to open up the screen here, and I want to show y'all. This is all right. So I'm watching Painkiller on Netflix. It triggered me. All right, maybe I can share a story before I show this clip. It took me back to the days when doc shopping, and I was a guy that took Roxy's. I didn't like the Oxys like everybody else did. I don't know why. I don't quite remember. It was the blues, man. It was the Roxasets that did it for me. I I mashed them up, that I insufflated them. I took them in every which way. That was my DOC. Hoot owl holler. Hello to you. Good to have you, and welcome, bienvenue. Um, I was remembering, for one, you could go to a doctor's office and it would look like you were standing in line, or you were looking at a line that would wrap around a building 50 times over. You had people dressed like they were at the beach. They were doing drug deals right in the line in front of the doctor's office, exchanging medications and whatever, smoking weed before it was legal, smoking bongs, and it was like a party. And then you had the people that were suffering because they needed their medication or their fix. And I just remember seeing all that and being in such shock at how surreal it all was, and the lengths people would go just to get that fix, man. The intensity, seeing humanity at their worst is something that kind of sticks with you. Like, you can't unsee when you look into the abyss. The abyss stares right back, right? And this was supposed to be. This is not nostalgia. This is just how I remember it. And then you get into your doctor. The old doctor I had. They took his business practice away. He had to go back to Colombia, and I think he was one of the honest ones. He just got caught up and did a few too many favors for people that were really crying a river and trying to get. Oh yeah, I ended up smoking Roxy's too. That's the closest I've ever come to smoking a narcotic that is that strong. Like with the pen, break off the top and the bottom and smoke it down a tinfoil as it melts down. That's, I guess that's just a part of my rock bottom at that time. And the person I was, the fool I made of myself in front of my family when I went to New Jersey, um, nodding out at a fancy Japanese restaurant with my best friend, and my face literally falling right flat into the miso soup. Um, yeah. And so I'm watching this Painkiller, and it's just reminding me of how it all started, and it seemed like just a never-ending party, and then all too soon we started to see the toll it was taking. 70%, maybe 80% of the people I grew up with are gone as a result of that pandemic. The one that was orchestrated by a wealthy family, the Sackler family. Now, here's what got me excited. I just did a little search, and this totally shocked me. Oh, here, before we move to the present, and let me read this if you can't see it, because this is what pissed me off. This is what had me like raging inside, that the Sackler family was able to file for bankruptcy using their shell companies. So it would just be fake company after fake company, just bowing out and saying they are going broke, and they never have to really spend a dime. And the only punishment, let's never forget, the only punishment for killing thousands upon thousands, more than COVID, I guarantee you. Misinformation me, bitch. I dare you, YouTube. There's no way, because I know this is the truth. If ever there was the truth being spoken, it is this. The opioid epidemic by the Sackler family with Oxycontin and Roxasets did far more damage than COVID. COVID did more damage in the way it was handled. In that case, it was more so the handling. It was the symptoms and not the actual disease. That's how COVID was bigger, because the powers that be were far too brazenly comfortable to destroy our constitutional rights and tell us it was for our own good. So that's a separate issue entirely. But this was a real killer. No doubt about it. All right. I've shown the pictures of the friends that I've grown up with. One of those, unfortunately, was somebody that I wish I would have told her I loved her, told her I wanted to try and be together. We were addicts together, and we tried to recover together. So anyway, sorry. So I just learned 2 days ago, the Supreme Court, the king of all the courts, they're blocking the settlement that would actually shield the Sackler family from any actual impact in terms of justice. I don't know what this all means. Will we see arrests? Will we see more public condemnation? Because the only punishment they ever got was getting their fancy ass stupid name taken off a fancy ass stupid museum of the arts. And oh my god, that's the shame. So here's a trip to the past before we get to the present. This pitiful. This was the apology, right? It says powerful. I'm claiming fair use here. Let me see what I've stumbled to here.
Earlier this month, a federal judge let relatives affected by America's opioid.
If I remember correctly, the families of victims. This means parents of their own sons, daughters, whatever the case. We're talking families, that lost family. They got to speak to these fools, but through a screen. That's what I remember. And they actually, the Sackler family, one by one, got to choose if they didn't want to be seen or not. So let me get a refresher. Let's all get a little refresher. This was how many years ago? Only 1 year ago. Oh, I hope this is better than what I remember.
Crisis addressed the owners of Purdue Pharma, which make the drug Oxycontin. More than 24 people confronted the Sackler family during the virtual hearing. One couple who spoke during the hearing was Christy and Bill Nelson from Indiana. Christy's son Brian died of an overdose in 2009. Steve Brown, with our station in Indianapolis, spoke with the Nelsons about addressing the Sacklers and their frustrations with how the Purdue Pharma execs handled the situation.
What a mess.
It was rainy and cold, but that didn't matter to Bill and Christy Nelson.
Hi, Brian.
It was Brian's birthday.
Happy birthday, son.
Brian Fentz, Christy's son, Bill's stepson.
I sure miss you.
Gone 13 years now from an opiate overdose.
I never in my wildest dreams thought he would die.
911.
It was Christy who discovered Brian unresponsive.
Yes, hurry.
The horror of it captured in this 911 call.
I need an ambulance. My son's not breathing. Hurry.
Is he blue?
He's white.
How old is he?
Oh, God, he's dead.
Ma'am, I need you to calm down. How old is he? Ma'am?
He's
Ma'am?
Found in Brian's room after his death, 80 milligram pills of OxyContin made by the Connecticut-based drug company Purdue Pharma. No opioid drug maker has been pursued in the courts more than Purdue Pharma, blamed as a major contributor to the nation's opioid crisis and the more than 500,000 overdose deaths in the United States.
Sincerely, how could, like, we know the crimes, we know the damage. Okay, there's no hiding and there's no bureaucracy. How, like, is it that it's just because it's this country? Is it because that the wealthy face no consequences in America? I mean, look at Hunter Biden and Hillary Clinton, but they're politically connected. The Sackler family, they're the people that fund people like Hillary and Biden. How can nobody be in cuffs and in prison for life? Not a single person in that family. How have we as a country, as a collective human race, sat idly by and watched this develop on the news and learn that the only consequence was having their last name taken away on a fucking museum? How has that sat with the collective gut? I can't even comprehend. We're talking about, like, almost, I'm sure, there's got to be, we're talking about millions here, right? Millions of people that were impacted and lost somebody or whose lives were forever changed. How was there not a group made, some oversight committee that was done within the confines of the judicial system? How are any of these family members, the Sacklers, out and about and living their life in luxury still? How? Why? We can't be that broken.
While not admitting wrongdoing, Purdue Pharma paid billions in settlements, pushing the company into bankruptcy court in Manhattan, where a very unusual deal was struck. Via Zoom, 26 people who had lost a loved one to an opiate overdose got to speak to the Sacklers, who owned and ran Purdue Pharma and made billions from the sale of OxyContin. The Nelsons were the only ones from Indiana selected for this hearing and were given very short notice to prepare.
You only got a day? Only a day
In court?
to get ready.
One day.
And earlier this month, at the remote hearing, the Nelsons were disappointed.
Richard was not on camera. He was
That's
on
right.
telephone only. We never saw him.
Richard is Dr. Richard Sackler, former chairman and president of Purdue Pharma, who, according to court records, wrote in emails that if people die because they abuse OxyContin, then good riddance, and referred to addicts as scum of the earth. Of the 3 Sacklers in attendance, only Richard Sackler was allowed to just listen in.
That bugs you.
That really bugs. Well, bug's not the word. It pisses me off.
This is what the Nelsons' court appearance looked like. Now, cameras aren't allowed in federal court, so the Nelsons, in a Facebook video, recreated that hearing appearance by reading the exact same testimony and beginning the exact same way with that haunting 911 call.
Oh, God, he's dead.
Ma'am, I need you to calm down. How old is he? Ma'am?
Rest in peace, Lindsay. Your mother made a call like that. I remember waking up from a seizure and seeing the paramedics and my mother and father frantically panicking, the landline still in my mother's hand, and me just coming to, and Zach, and so many.
Ma'am? Ma'am?
You wanted to make sure the Sacklers heard that.
Absolutely. And I hope they hear it in their dreams at night.
They're cold inside. They're dead inside. As far as I don't think they'd care. Honestly, truly. I hope I'm wrong. They're not human.
Because I do.
But you know what, Richard?
Bill kept his focus on Richard Sackler, saying that when the hearing was over,
Richard will hang up his phone and go do whatever arrogant billionaire cowards do on their birthday.
shortly after the hearing, the bankruptcy was closed, leaving the Nelsons, again, disappointed.
Justice was not served.
You know,
Oh, it was
in any
not.
way, shape, or form.
I sure miss you.
And the Nelsons, they're left with a gaping hole in their lives,
I wish you were here.
looking ahead to years
I know,
of
man.
annual birthday visits for Brian.
Happy birthday, son.
2009.
Happy birthday.
I was climbing brick walls taller than me with a rib cage
And Steve
open.
Brown, he joins us right now from Indianapolis. And Steve, wow, that 911 call, it gives you shivers. And Nelson say justice was not served. What exactly would justice look like for them?
Hi, Kelsey. It would be some form of accountability, personal accountability for the
Some
Sacklers. Keep in mind, the
All right, I no longer am interested of the speculation of the past from news anchors. I want to learn right now what this can mean. So we have an update from 12 hours ago. U.S. court moves to reassess Sackler deal, opens window for victims' families. Is this just more financial compensation? You know, sometimes, money's very helpful, but it's not everything. And this is what people that are so disconnected from humanity, that are billionaires and politicians, so disconnected from everyday Americans. They think money is really the end-all, be-all, and answer. Activists are celebrating a U.S. Supreme Court decision to review. Oh, that's a link. I'll be checking that out. Purdue Pharma's controversial $6 billion settlement of opioid lawsuits for bringing a sense of optimism to an otherwise bleak situation. By the way, if you check out my YouTube shorts, you'll see some clips of Painkiller if you don't have Netflix. I will be taking clips of all the best stuff. We've been saying that this is a misuse of the bankruptcy court and that the Sacklers have been using it as a defense because they were the ones that put Purdue into bankruptcy, says Mike Quinn, a New York lawyer who represents Prescription Addiction Intervention, now PAIN, an organization that has questioned if some members of the Sackler family could be liable for the prescription opioid crisis that ramped up in the U.S. in the early 2000s. There's no question. There's no question. Don't even treat it like one. The Sackler family, Richard Sackler, first off, Richard Sackler's father is the one that made Valium and pushed it and made it a popular drug for housewives across America. Okay, so thank you, Sackler family, times two. So there's no question here. There's no reassessment. Okay, so it's premature to say this a victory. Okay, typo. It is a victory, but it opens a window for a resolution to an issue we've been fighting for years. We need this motherfucker in prison. Give the American people some goddamn hope. Adding, the decision has brought a sense of optimism to what otherwise... Damn it, didn't I just say that? Quinn was among several commentators who cast the court's announcement as a potential victory for the U.S. government. Focus on the people, okay? Focus on the people. We don't give a shit about our government right now because they don't give a shit about us. And activists opposing an unusual legal shield granting family members immunity from civil claims via the OxyContin maker's bankruptcy proceedings. He said the new twist in the case has the potential to reconcile the issue of non-debtor third-party releases and allow the judicial system to finally decide whether non-bankrupt parties can get discharges from their liability for wrongdoing. The challenge to the Purdue bankruptcy settlement agreement, which had been agreed to by a lower court, where you're in the big leagues now, you motherfucker, which opposes the... Sorry. I may have lost my place. was brought by the U.S. bankruptcy trustee, represented by the U.S. Justice Department. Please, Justice Department, remind us that you really mean justice. Which opposes the use of the bankruptcy court to release certain billionaires members of the Sackler family who are not seeking bankruptcy protection as individuals from all opioid-related claims. This one family is responsible for this. According to, imagine if you could say this one guy is responsible for COVID, something like Fauci or something. According to the Office of the U.S. Trustee, bankruptcy courts have no authority to force creditors to sign away their legal rights if they do not like the settlement terms. But the Sacklers have demanded. The Sacklers are in a position to demand. Show me some everyday American that is in any position to make a request for mercy, let alone make demands during the due process here. Help me understand, powers that be, that release as a condition of the Sacklers have demanded that release as a condition of paying the $6 billion settlement. So they pay over $6 billion and the release of the protections. Okay. I would understand that they'd want to keep the protections. Last year, the Attorney General Merrick Garland said the bankruptcy court did not have the authority to deprive victims of the opioid crisis of their right to sue the Sackler family. You damn right. Wish it was more than money, but sue them into the damn ground, into a coffin. The Supreme Court justices say they would allow the case to be argued in a December argument session. Yeah, man, I'll be there if I can. The justices also directed the parties to address whether bankruptcy law authorizes a blanket shield from lawsuits filed by all opioid victims. Lawyers for Purdue had previously urged the justices to stay out of the case. Are you shitting me right now? Lawyers for Purdue urged the justices to stay. Something's broken here. Something's broken. It may be my mind. So you're telling me lawyers for a rich and powerful family that's absolutely nefarious with no soul intact, that profiteered off of the ending of lives, the destruction of families, their lawyers got to tell the justices to stay out of commencing justice? Holy hell, Batman. We live in hell. In a statement after the memo was issued, the company said it was confident in the legality of our nearly universally supported plan of reorganization and optimistic that the Supreme Court will agree. Even so, we are disappointed that the U.S. trustees, despite having no concrete interest in the outcome of this process, has been able to single-handedly delay billions of dollars in value that should be put to use for victim compensation, opioid crisis abatement for communities across the country, and overdose rescue medicines. When Purdue Pharma introduced the slow-release painkiller OxyContin in 1996, it had aggressively, wow, I was in 6th grade, man, marketed it as non-addictive. Yep, they said that there was less than a 1% chance for anybody to become an addict, and it was printed on that son of a bitch. And played down the risks of abuse and overdose. A 2006 Justice Department memo leaked to The Guardian 2 years ago showed that prosecutors had recommended wire fraud and money laundering charges against the company. Say it ain't so. And cited more than 200,000 deaths in the U.S. tied directly to prescription opioids between only 1999 and 2016. The memo suggests that had the government accepted prosecutors' recommendations and brought a criminal prosecution, Purdue might have been put out of business. The lives y'all could have saved. Its senior executives jailed and I need to read that again. Its senior executives jailed and perhaps tens of thousands of opioid-related deaths avoided. Instead, the government agreed to limit Purdue's exposure to you sons of bitches. Okay. Instead, the government agreed to limit Purdue's exposure to claims of, was that for PR? Deceptive marketing to 6 years from 1996 when the drug was introduced, with first-year sales of $48 million to 2001 when sales had already reached $1.1 billion over that period. The government estimated $2.8 billion in revenue from OxyContin, and the FDA They put their bloody hands on this. The FDA, the FDA went ahead and once this is how it would work. I remember this. I've done my homework. The Sackler family, Purdue Pharma, they would grease up the FDA. The FDA would play softball and allow Purdue and OxyContin to get away with things that no other medications and no other people would or could ever get away with in the history of our country. And this would be because the person that they were talking to at the FDA knew once their term was over in the FDA, they could go comfortably and work for the Purdue institution, for the Sackler family. And this is recorded. This is a matter of public record. All of these motherfuckers need to get tied together and allegedly burned. Sorry, I get a little intense about this. So back to it. In revenue, in 2007, 3 non-Sackler executives include. You have your what do you call them? The patsies, right? Including its president and its top lawyer, pleaded guilty as individuals to misbranding, a criminal violation. They agreed to pay a total of $34.5 million in fines and were given probation. Man, this is white collar crime, man. Look at the consequences. For just everyday American, man. You didn't pay for something, like speeding ticket. Just the shit that can financially set us working folks back. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the handling here. It's just one of these things, not like the other. At a minimum, the court's acceptance of the case will bring further discomfort to members of the Sackler family. Discomfort, which have seen their name taken off several art institutions and they had supported over the years with millions of dollars in grants. Oh. A ruling favorable to the U.S. trustee and by extension activists could also shed light on decisions made by former Judge Robert Drain, who oversaw the bankruptcy case. In April, Drain joined. I need to get to the bottom of this. Stop giving me drivel. I want substantial information. Okay, was easier fined for failure to disclose a joint defense agreement with the Sacklers in the bankruptcy case. Okay, let me go for December's arguments before the court may include a brief by Ellen Isaacs, who has fought to bring Purdue, its owners, and executives to just account since losing her son. I'm going to keep that name and play some research later. Okay, so Ellen Isaacs lost a family member to just account since losing her son Ryan to an opioid overdose in 2018. Isaacs is one of just 2 individuals holding out against the controversial bankruptcy settlement. I want my day in court, Isaacs told The Guardian last year. Now multiply that by 80,000. Purdue and the Sacklers caused a genocide. They weaponized the medicine cabinets of the U.S. I will turn the court on its head. This company has made billions of dollars, the blood money of our children, and I stand for everybody who has been harmed. The Sacklers need to be indicted. No swanky prison, no TVs. Put an ankle monitor on them and put them out in the community to help clear up this mess. That's so kinder than myself. Okay, so there we have it. Here, real quick. No, that's not it. I did. I had an OG video of what it looked like when they were showing how successful and impossible it was for this drug to do any harm. And oh my, have we ever been humbled, huh? So, let me see. What do you got there? In public, Eli or PPV? I'm sorry, I pay-per-view? So it might be lost upon me. All the alphabet groups are corrupt. Yes, the 3-letter agency mob that have been completely compromised, that reflect no interest of the American people as we stand. And they're just a strong arm, mafioso type for the agenda that is pushed by whatever status quo is popular by our government. That's what the hell they are, and they need to go. Tear them all down and restructure them from bottom to top, top to bottom. Period. Good to see you, Lewis. Lewis, man, if you're available tomorrow, hit me up, dude. All right, I'm gonna be hanging out with some old friends. All right, I want to get back to as painful as it is. Watching Painkiller on Netflix is taking me to this place where the fire is always lit inside me about the injustice of the Sackler family. If we hope to begin to fix anything else that is so broken in our own country, it has to start somewhere. And I can't think of a better place to start than with the motherfucking Sackler family answering and being held accountable. Let's make being held accountable great again. How about that? Let's make it something that we actually can learn to expect. We pay our taxes. We obey our laws. Where's the reward in doing that? Because all I see is people that have enough money to abuse everything, get away with everything. Angel's Wings, Bass Girl, Hoot Owl Holler, Mutated Illustration, Lou, Wolverine. See, I wish I was. Oh, Queen Survivor. Oh, Queen. Let's see how this goes. I'm gonna do it publicly. Okay, accountability. Tomorrow is my day off. I got plans, but I'm gonna call you, and it might be in the morning. Just saying. Man, I'm so ashamed. I normally always say, just Shabbat Shalom, and I take some level of pride in my ancestry, but I can't read that, which is probably bad. Shavatov. I think that's like toast. Man, okay, you know what? I have to look this up now because I feel like, oh, no. Okay. I'm going to say I bid you all a good night. And just if you need to, it's not that far away. If you need to find some gratitude or any pride, if there's any issues you're having, stress or insecurity, I want you to think of just some very simple things, okay? Very, very simple. Number one, you have your mind and your wits about you. You're not a prisoner to any pill. You are free. You are as free as we can be in terms of the illusion of freedom in the country, but you have your own beautiful independent mind, and every thought you have is yours and yours alone. Find power in that. Let it empower you. Imagine if all the people involved in seeing the Sacklers answer to the unanswerable. Imagine if they would all congregate and put the power of positivity and independent thinking, and they're not being held prisoner by anything that clouds their judgment, what they could accomplish. I want you all to remember just how important and how powerful you all can be individually, but all the more together. And things that happen to set us apart and make us disagree should not be something that makes us want to push one another away. It should be an invitation, if anything. So let us, for the sake of justice, to see justice trend again in the United States of America, let's see if we can accomplish something. Good night. Take care.